Movie review. Physical media. And gummy unicorn. Booyah! Tippy time, my damies, and welcome to what is this, episode 38 of Reviewedly Interrupted? Yeah, that's a new intro. It's like, I don't know, maybe this is the beginning of season 2. You know, they'll do a new intro sometimes, like new intro. I don't know. And of course, Reviewedly Interrupted is brought to you by Gummy Unicorn. Fucking Gummy Unicorn, everybody. Not pluralized, but many. Legion. Alright. This episode is about Dead Hooker in a Trunk. Wah, 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 wah. Yes, the Soska Sisters. They did American Mary, which everybody knows. A lot of people know and love that movie. See No Evil 2, and they did a remake of Cronenberg's Rabid. I need to get both Cronenberg's movie and the remake. It's like I've a lot of catching up to do. We've talked about this, but yeah, this is their first movie, and this is more of like kind of just gonzo, balls to the wall, fucking almost grindhouse-ey type shit. You know, it's pretty good. It's funny. It's the CGI is, I've seen worse. But like still, it's just fun. It's a fun fucking ride, and it's like a pretty good debut film. And when I saw like, because it's IFC Midnight, which pumps out some pretty solid shit, independent films, and I saw previews for it on like other IFC and IFC Midnight movies. I think one of them might have even been The Human Centipede or The Human Centipede 2 or some shit, right? And I was like, that looks pretty cool. And it's like, yeah, Eli Roth says it's fucking awesome. And it's like, I'm a fan of Eli Roth's movies, and I know that he's like a fan of like horror and pretty good movies and everything. And so I was like, yeah, let me check it out. And yeah, I was like, this is fun. This is a fun fucking movie. And it's been a while since I watched it. That is the sound of me opening Gummy Unicorn. For they are legion. For they are many, and yet are one. They're also like the Three Musketeers, I guess. One for all and all for one. And all for me, because nobody else eats this shit. But, yeah. Dead Hooker in a Trunk. I do have a link for the DVD, like the cheapest DVD that you can get off Amazon. I like I said, I don't do deep digging for some shit. I mean, if you want to go even further and find some shit, cool. I just go straight to Amazon. It's got a whole bunch of shit. So sometimes you're cool. Other times you strike out. It said the Blu-ray is currently unavailable on there. Some other DVD version is currently unavailable on there. But there was like this one, and it was like 22 something for like the DVD. So I got the link for that, but I'm sure if you did a little bit of digging, you could like probably find a cheaper copy and shit like that. I mean, it'd be cool to find it on Blu-ray, but like, till I guess it comes back to being available. I don't know. It's one you don't hear about. You hear about American Mary a lot in like movie circles. I hear about it a lot. See No Evil. Mostly the first one, then you hear a little bit about the second one. Don't really hear about Rabid. But like this one's almost, it's like their first film, but it's almost kind of forgotten. So it's gonna be fun to go back and watch it, you know, because like I said, it's been like years since I watched it. And I've seen it a couple times, but it's been a while. I remember bits and pieces, so it would be fun to go and fucking watch it again. Yeah. Soska Sisters. Debut film. IFC. Got a hooker in the trunk. So, alright, man. I'm trying to cut these, trying to whittle these down a little bit. So, I think that's enough yapping. I'm gonna go watch this, and then there'll be a bunch of spoilers. Alright. So, in a bit, fuckers, get a hooker and trunk, and the Soska Sisters, and the Canadian, Canadians do stuff too, Well, holy shit pickles, Batman. Dead hooker in a trunk. Debut film by the Soska Sisters. It's definitely like, when did this come out? I think like 2009, I want to say. Something like that. Around 2009. Yeah, 2009 it was made. I think it got like a little bigger release later maybe or something. But it's definitely got like that I guess it'd be like later 2000s or whatever, like indie, low budget, like look and feel and everything else. If like I've ended up like with a lot of like flicks that are early 2000s US, like low budget indie things, and this has that same kind of look where it's like you get past like the acting that like great directors, writers, great movie makers. I'm not going to say that the Soska Sisters are the best actresses in the world. They didn't do a horrible job, but I wouldn't say acting is their big thing. At least it wasn't then. You can tell it was like, oh yeah, Gummy Unicorn people. Gummy Unicorn. They are legion. Because though they are one Gummy Unicorn, they are many. Gummy Unicorn people. Pick them up at your local Dollar Tree. It's a solid fucking film. It's a fun fucking film. Like, one thing that was actually like really fucking solid with the movie was how it turns out that the serial killer is like one of the pastors at the church that the one character, Goody Two Shoes, goes and like does his youth group and everything at. That's like a classic kind of like horror slasher action whatever kind of. I mean, this thing's like grindhouse, but I mean, I wouldn't put it in the horror genre. It's like kind of exploitation grindhouse, but it's like a classic. Like, I mean, it does fall into the kind of slasher too because of the serial killer, but whatever. The callback to it being that guy who's doing the shit, I thought that was like really, really fucking solid. It was a nice like little plot twist, like, oh, it was that guy all along. It's like, it's classic, and I loved that. I fucking loved that, And this movie is definitely an ode to like it's got a mild Tarantino feel, a little bit of an Eli Roth. Gummy Unicorn, man. Eli Roth feel too, I can see why Eli Roth fucking really liked it, because it does have a little bit of that like kind of feel that some of his movies have, and generally the movies that Eli Roth like produces or presents and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and I like. There's also the comedy. One guy always throwing up. When they're taking this hooker around, they think she's dead the whole time. They're getting ready to bury her, and it turns out she's not dead, and she comes alive, and then they have to kill her. The eye getting knocked out by the baseball bat, just poof. Good shit, man. Like, really good action. Especially, oh man. The incorporation of a chainsaw. Very awesome. Very awesome. I love how, like, all of a sudden, what is it, the triad or the Yakuza or some shit? I guess it's got Chinese roots, and maybe it's supposed to be like the triad, those Asian gangsters when they come in with the chainsaw and everything and start cutting that chick's arm off. It was pretty good. And before, when I was talking about like the CGI, basically like, when the one broad right here, she's the junkie. Like, she's already got her arm like half cut off and everything, and then they're in the road and they're arguing, and she throws her arm up, and that truck comes and hits it and just rips it off the rest of the way and everything. Like, that CGI, that was like the low budget independent CGI, and it's like, of course it's awesome to see like that smooth CGI, but it's also like if you're a real like movie lover, it's fun to see like that kind of CGI too. It's like I'm a big fan of Leprechaun 4 in Space, which has that really, really just horrible old school CGI where it's like the best they could do at the time with what they had, with their budget and everything else. So it was the best they could do themselves. And so it's just like, but it's still entertaining because it's just like they're doing it. They're trying, you know, they're throwing it out there. It's not just like we have $1 million, like $10,000 million and everything else, but we're going to scale it down. No, this is like what they had, and they really tried, and they were really putting their hearts into it. And like the Soska Sisters, you know, now that they're like, I'm not sure, like I got to see if they got more movies and stuff like that. You know, because I know, like I said, American Mary, See No Evil 1 and 2, Rabid, this movie. I think there might be something else that I'm missing. You know, I've been kind of out of the loop. It's like trying to keep a beat on all this shit going on with movies. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, especially for a collector. Physical media. Yeah. But like, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm a little baked and I kind of like zoned out or whatever. But I got to see if they got more movies and everything. Like they're you could tell that like filmmaking is like their passion and stuff. And like they did a really good, really solid job with their first movie. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. You know, like I said, the acting was like a little cheese at times and everything, but I don't think it was supposed to be like Academy Award winning acting and everything else. This was I do believe that their vision came out how they wanted it, you know. Just it's a very like modern grindhouse-ey type movie, you know, low budget and just like in your face and shit. And you know, I thought it was really fucking good. Like it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a very entertaining movie. It just, you go along for the ride, and it's a fun ride, you know? Oh yeah, the hotel manager. He's got like a goat with lipstick on there and everything, and even though he's pretty sure that Hooker's dead, even though she wasn't dead at the time, but I think he thought she might have been or something, and he was just gonna like, he had sex with the unconscious Hooker anyway. And then those cops that were all chained up in there, he was like, hey, what's up? And it's like, that guy was an absolute sexual degenerate. And it makes me not want to stay at Canadian motels. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of Canadian motels. But of course, I don't know enough about Canada. So any of my Canadian viewers, please tell me, are there a bunch of goat fuckers out there running motels? I need to know this. Because I don't know. I'm not a very worldly man. I'm not. No, but you know, IFC Films, man, and IFC Midnight. That like IFC Midnight puts out some really good shit. Whether it's like real horror or something like this, it's more grindhouse-y and kind of like, you know, action in your face stuff, like less horror, but more of like I would say like a giallo grindhouse, a giallo-esque grindhouse movie is what Dead Hooker and a Trump kind of comes out to be, you know. And IFC Midnight did it again, you know. They really I think they really nailed it with that. Really quick, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do next. This movie, it's been a while since I've seen this, but I am a huge fan of horror anthologies. Very huge fan. Not too long ago, I watched, what was it? House of the Dead, but not that zombie one from like the, 2000s or something. This is an old one from the 70s where it took place in a funeral home and everything. And it's like, I'm going to do a movie review about a movie like that eventually. And I'm going to talk about the whole subgenre of horror anthologies which take place in like a mortuary or a morgue or something like that, because there's actually like a handful, and it's like a subgenre of the fucking horror anthology, which I'm like, you know what, that actually is like, there's a small group of movies that actually make its own subgenre in there, and that's pretty cool. But this one is not like that. This is the ABCs of Death. Yes, like it's been a while since I've seen it, but very cool, very awesome. Very big fan of horror anthologies. It's gonna be fun to watch this again, and my gal has never seen it, so I'm gonna have to be like, "Hey, baby, you should come check this out. This is like pretty crazy, baby. It's crazy." And she's gonna be like, "Okay, hold on. I'll be right there, and I will taste the delicious. I'll taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Just let me take care of this, and I'll be right in there to do that." ABC's of Death next time. But back to Dead Hooker in a Trunk. Like I said, very, very solid like first outing for these two. The Soska Sisters, Ben and Jerry. No, not Ben and Jerry. What is it? Jen and Barry? No. Jen and Sylvia Soska. They don't have ice cream. I don't think they have an ice cream company. Just maybe a production company for movies, not for producing ice cream. But yeah, you know, and they went on to do some really solid movies. Like American Mary it's like really, really solid. That's a very like exploitation slasher that is like pretty cool. It gets weird. I like their take on stuff. They have a very abstract view at times, which is very unique in their own, and that's what makes their movies cool. Is that they're doing it in their way. A great director will have like, they'll take something that maybe you've seen a million times, but they will have their point of view where they're like, okay, yeah, you know, there's that typical trope, but here's how, you know what I think would be cool? What if we went like way out there on this side with it or something like that, and taking it or maybe just tweaking a little and be like, you know what if we change it and we made it like this and everything, and putting a unique stamp that is all their own on stuff. And American Mary is definitely like that. And Dead Hooker in the Trunk is definitely like that too, you know? It's like totally gonzo, and it's like almost everything but the kitchen sink. I mean, at one point there's a guy kind of dressed as like westerny and everything, riding a horse, who lassos, I think it was Sylvia Soska, and then drags her down the road, and she has to shoot the rope and everything. It's like everything but the kitchen sink. This movie is fucking wild. And you know what? I would love to see these motherfuckers take this movie, and if they're not going to do it, Eli Roth, you should fucking do it. Do like, if everybody's going to do remakes of shit, imagine that with a bigger budget. It'd be wild. I think that those two would like go ham. They would like be like, oh man, and it would be fucking even nuttier. But yeah, it's tight. It's a really good, fun romp. Very, very fun romp. I recommend it. If you're a fan of the Soska Sisters, definitely check it out. It's like being a fan of Broken Lizard and going and finding Puddle Cruiser, which I have, but it's out in storage in California. But like, you know, that's something before like they became a name. That type of movie, this is for the Soska Sisters. That's what this is. And it's a really solid fucking movie. It's got I think the script is actually super tight. So yeah. Dead Hooker in the Trunk. Highly recommend it. Go watch it. Check it out. Be entertained. Be very entertained. I was highly entertained. I was so entertained. It was fucking nuts, man. But I don't know. I said it, and I ate almost this whole bag of I Am Legion gummy unicorn. I don't know. All right, talked enough about the movie. So check out the links. Like I said, there's a link to the DVD. It's a little over $20. Blu-ray copy is currently unavailable. Probably a cheaper copy of the DVD is currently unavailable at the time also, but I definitely think it's worth picking up and definitely adding to your collection if you're a fan of the Soska Sisters and you don't have this, or just finding a place to watch it and checking it out for yourself and being like, oh, all right, you know, that's pretty cool. Yeah. But all right, I think I don't know. Do you feel like your pity kind has been adequately signed? You got signed your pity on the running kind adequately? Yes. Okay. Well, I guess a little tippy tie and wadata and coal me down on the panty sty. I'll see you guys next time. Really interrupted. Me, Pootie Tang. This time, dead hooker in the trunk. Now I'm out of here. Yeah. All right. Later. Fucking.
No, Luigi, my. What is it? Hey everyone!